talking real loud, spreading on lies, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In our heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading on lies, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading on lies, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. Got my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In our heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so with that all being said, hello, Deronda, 504 Nola, Lillian X, DJ Big Six is in the house. All right, let's get into it. Danielle, Blaxican the Traveler is in here. Okay, so shout out to all my loyal royals. Hey, Hadassah. Shout out to all my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen. And a big shout out to my moderators, because y'all know they be putting in work. Now, before we get started, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right, so with that being said, don't forget that you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts, and you can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, so everybody hit that like button. Thank you in advance. And also don't forget to double check and make sure you're still subscribed, especially if you have not been receiving notifications. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's get into it. Now, first off, Governor Gavin Newsom got Prop 50 passed, and we know Trump hates it. Trump says that it's a whole scam. Okay, he was able to get it passed and use it against Trump. Gavin Newsom's Proposition 50 just passed, and here's what happens next. So, 3 months ago, conventional wisdom suggested that Governor Gavin Newsom's redistricting plan faced a brutal uphill battle amid an impromptu 10-week campaign sprint. But within minutes after polls closed at 8 p.m. Tuesday, the Associated Press and national news networks had already proclaimed that Proposition 50 would pass handedly, with voters agreeing to temporarily suspend California's independently drawn maps and adopt ones gerrymandered in favor of Democrats. This is why Trump says it's a whole scam. Okay, please pay attention. Now, Prop 50's landslide victory proved that Newsom and his allies bet correctly on pitching the measure as a counter-maneuver to gerrymanderers by Republican states, such as Texas, and an act of resistance against President Donald Trump. Okay? So it also spells, and he basically told people when he was, trying to get people to vote for it or whatever, he basically told them they need to get rid of Trump. Okay? They need to get rid of Trump, and they absolutely do. Now, it also spells the beginning of the end for several of California's Republican House members who now must take the unpleasant calculation of whether to run in their current district, switch to a new seat, or drop out entirely. Questions they could have previously dodged. Okay, they could previously dodge under the guise of Prop 50 won't pass. That's what they were thinking. But it's not yet clear how widely Prop 50's influence will stretch outside of California. The 5-seat game for Democrats could offset at least some redistricting efforts in Republican states, although Republicans stand to gain more seats from an all-out redistricting arms race. Now, then there's the looming possibility that the U.S. Supreme Court will outlaw the use of race in the redistricting process, which could give Republicans a major advantage in southern states. Opponents also haven't given up, despite losing at the ballot box. Now, just over 12 hours after polls closed, California Republicans announced a lawsuit challenging Prop 50 in a Fresno-based federal court on the grounds that it violates both the 14th and 15th Amendments by drawing districts that favor Latino voters, okay, at the expense of other ethnic and racial groups. Y'all hear that? Do y'all hear that? Now, this is good for them and bad for Trump. So let's go to what Governor Gavin Newsom had to say about it. And also, I want you all to pay attention, because I have been talking about, well, many of us have been talking about Trump needs to be impeached, and how the Dems said they were going to use Article 2 to get rid of him and all of that. Okay, well, it looks like they've been planning ahead. Trump and his minions, they've been planning ahead for that. They already suspected it, or they already knew. Okay, so we're going to get to that momentarily, but let's see what Governor Gavin Newsom has to say. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance.
We stood tall and we stood firm in response to Donald Trump's recklessness. And tonight, after poking the bear, this bear roared with an unprecedented turnout in a special election with an extraordinary result.
That was California Governor Gavin Newsom last night after voters overwhelmingly approved a measure that allows the state's legislature to redraw its congressional districts, flipping up to 5 seats to Democrats, or at least favoring them, right, in next year's midterm election. It is known as Prop 50, was introduced in response to the new Texas congressional map, which Republicans drew up at Donald Trump's request, taking 5 seats away from Democrats, and which had no mass Democratic, small d Democratic input, right? The voters never ratified it. The legislature just did it. Well, today, California Republicans sued to stop the state from moving forward with redistricting, saying it's unfair, even as their party seeks to gerrymander other red states. Republicans are pretty much committed now to picking their voters rather than letting the voters pick or not pick them. This year, 4 Republican-controlled states have already redrawn their maps at Trump's direction: Texas, Missouri, Ohio, and North Carolina, which is a 50-50 state, basically, in elections. flipping 9 seats to Republicans, at least in theory. Now, the proposed Democratic maps in California would put a significant dent in those national Republican gains. It would cancel out Texas, as you see there. That was the plan. But nobody's talking about stopping there. So Republicans in Indiana, Nebraska, Kansas, and Florida are all at least exploring redder congressional maps, again, at Trump's behest. Now, many democratically controlled states are talking about responding in kind the way California has. We are basically, thanks to Donald Trump, in a gerrymandering arms race. And there's no mystery as to why. House Speaker Mike Johnson laid it out today after last night's drubbing. Redistricting, controlling the maps, is how Republicans think they will win.
And I think the midterm is going to be a great one for us. We had a demographic shift in 2024. We have a very favorable election map on the Republican side, and it will be even more favorable once all the redistricting stuff is settled out.
Oh, it'll be even more favorable after you change the maps? But after what we saw at the polls, I'm also not so sure redistricting alone is going to be enough for them. If you are pulling supporters from a deep red district to make another district red, you end up with 2 less red districts. And ultimately, you can't actually guarantee, right, that your Republican MAGA voters from the last election will turn out for you again or vote for you again. You don't get to actually tell people how to vote. It could backfire. If voters are angry enough at your party like they were last night, you could lose, say, both new red districts. In fact, political scientists have a word for that, dummy mandering, they call it. Now, sophisticated models make it harder and harder to breach those walls, right? But dumb or not, this is how Republicans are telling us they're going to win. We are going to draw the line so that you can't touch us. And as Newsom said last night, they're going to be opposed.
We need the state of Virginia. We need the state of Maryland. We need our friends in New York, in Illinois, in Colorado. We need to see other states with the remarkable leaders that have been doing remarkable things meet this moment head on as well.
Mark Elias is one of the people fighting this in the front lines, waging voting rights and redistricting lawsuits all over the country. He's also the founder of the Democracy Docket, and he joins me now. Mark, it is a sort of crazy arms race. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. The result last night of California is, just as a political reporter for years, I've never seen people come out in those numbers with that kind of margin for it. Have you ever seen like a process-based ballot measure that was sort of this narrow and this last minute in some ways have the kind of galvanizing effect as last night's did?
Never. And by the way, Chris, kudos to you. You pointed something out that I think has really gone unremarked. This was not a low turnout affair. I mean, it wasn't a low turnout affair in New Jersey or New York or Virginia, and it wasn't a low turnout affair in California either. And so this was not a situation in which you had very few people voting and, you just had quirky things happen. This was, as you say, an energized electorate that made a decision that they had had enough and that they were going to stand up for democracy. In California, it's not just that it was high turnout for what you call a process, but think about it. If I had told you a year ago that there would be a ballot initiative in California to undo a nonpartisan commission map and put in place a partisan map, you would have told me I was crazy. If I had also told you that in Virginia, the way in which Democrats would rescue, frankly, one of their more difficult candidates for attorney general would be by pivoting towards the promise of redrawing maps, that would energize and galvanize electorate and flip, 13 state house seats along the way. You would have said I was crazy. And finally, Chris, in Maine, how many times have you and I been lectured by Republicans about how popular voter ID is? Well, voter ID was on the ballot in Maine, and it got smoked. I mean, it lost by 20 points in Maine, which, as you know, is a kind of purple state. So there was a lot of democracy on the ballot last night, and democracy won.
The Republicans are going to sue to try to stop the California order. Do you think there's much to that lawsuit? What's your read on that?
They're going to lose. So just to be clear, California Republicans filed 2 cases already in the state Supreme Court, and the state Supreme Court didn't even wait for the state of California to answer before dismissing them. Then Ronnie Jackson, MAGA congressman from Texas, he filed a lawsuit in Matthew Kacsmarik's courthouse. As you know, Judge Kacsmarik is a
I love Amarillo this time
Trump.
of year.
Yeah, very conservative. He's oftentimes a place where if you're very conservative, you go to his courtroom and hope to get a hearing. Ronnie Jackson's lawsuit was dismissed, challenging the California map. Then Darrell Issa filed a lawsuit in the same courtroom in Texas, in Judge Kaczmarek's courtroom, and that was dismissed sua sponte. So this is actually now the sixth case that they have filed challenging the California map, and it will be the sixth defeat that Republicans will suffer.
All right. So looks like it's not going the way they had hoped. Okay. So now they say this was very strategic by Gavin Newsom, okay, to come up with this Prop 50 redistricting, because Prop 50 was framed as a response to the Republicans' efforts, okay, including Trump's, to redraw congressional maps mid-decade to gain seats. Okay, we already know what Trump was up to, trying to rig things as per usual. But then when he loses, when things don't go his way, oh, it's fraud. Okay, oh, it's a scam. Oh, it's a hoax. It's a Democratic hoax. Aren't these the things that he always says? So anyway, it was passed by a large margin in California, meaning voters rejected the counter redistricting infrastructure the GOP had hoped to leverage. Okay, so their attempts failed. The new maps are explicitly titled to give Democrats a chance to flip up to 5 currently Republican-held U.S. House seats. Thus, the GOP's structural ability to gain or hold seats via redistricting in a top-tier state like California has been undermined, okay, at least for this cycle. The fact that California voters agreed in a special election to enact a measure framed as a counter to Trump's nefarious tactics is politically damaging. It sends a message of resistance rather than acquiescence to Trump, okay, to Trump's backed GOP strategy. Media commentary frames Prop 50's passage as a rebuke of Trump, okay, and the GOP in California. All right, and that's what they need to do. Durrani said Trump is a fraudulent criminal. He absolutely is. He absolutely is. Okay. And we're going to talk more about his criminal activities maybe later today or tomorrow. Okay. Because do I need to bring the receipts? Okay. So anyway, with that all being said, did you all know that Pete Hegseth restricted the military officials from talking to Congress without getting prior approval? Now, what's up with this? What's up with that? Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is mandating that personnel can no longer engage lawmakers or their staff about most major issues confronting the U.S. military without prior approval. A list that includes recent military strikes in the Caribbean, how the Pentagon buys weapons, and the construction of a U.S. missile shield. Now, I'm willing to bet $1 to a dime that the reason for this has something to do with those boats that Trump had blown up. Okay, those airstrikes, 43 people dead, 11 boats. Okay, y'all remember that? That's likely why. So, and also because some of the military personnel has been speaking out. Okay, some of the military personnel has absolutely been speaking out. Welcome, beloved Baba Rashawn Live. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, some of them have been speaking out and they don't want to go along with what Trump has them doing. And also a couple of them seem to have gotten arrested. Did you all see that video? It was a woman and a man, and they just were not doing what Trump wanted them to do. And they were being arrested. Okay, that was like a few weeks ago. So anyway, it's a major shift on how the military interacts with Congress. Congressional staff say they're concerned that Hegseth's clampdown will hamstring lawmakers' ability to get even routine information as it oversees the Pentagon's $1 trillion budget and cobbles together an annual defense policy bill. Okay, this is not being transparent. They're trying to hide information. And let's not forget how they banned reporters, some of the reporters, from the Pentagon. Okay? What are they up to? Now, under Hegseth's new mandate, staff from the various military services and agencies were told they must coordinate first with Hegseth's central legislative office. Staffers say they worry the result will be that information needed by Congress will wind up bottlenecked, waiting for aides to get Hegseth to approve it. Do y'all hear this? So I'm sorry, but who's really in charge here? So now Congress has to wait on him to give the okay. The list of restricted topics reviewed by ABC News includes acquisition reform, spectrum, critical munitions, budget and reconciliation spending plans, critical minerals, foreign military sales, attempted lethal force on military installations, and the National Defense Strategy. Okay, now CNN had reported this list on Sunday. So, in a post on X, Nebraska Republican Don Bacon called it an amateur move, saying, "I was a 5-time commander, and our leadership wanted us to engage members of Congress. We wanted to share what our great airmen were doing. We were proud of our service. The new rules have put a large barrier between the military and Congress. Pentagon says the change is very small, but I already see the impact with military members being afraid to communicate. This is another amateur move." In my opinion, he's trying to silence them. In case anyone has grievances to bear, any complaints or whatever, know of anything nefarious going on that they don't want to engage in, then they have to run it by headset before they can go and talk to Congress, because they don't want them snitching on what they're up to. That's just what I think. Now, I could be wrong, but I could absolutely be right. Chief Pentagon spokesperson Sean Parnell called the new restrictions, which was spelled out in an October memo, a pragmatic step to internally review communications with Congress. Now, they say the department intends to improve accuracy and responsiveness in communicating with Congress to facilitate increased transparency. This review is for processes internal to the department and does not change how or from whom Congress receives information, he wrote. Yeah, but just how and when they can receive said information. Okay, because he has to approve it. What do you all think about that? What do you all think about it? I don't like it at all. It just sounds real sketchy. Like they have something to hide or something they don't want the public to find out. Censorship is what it boils down to. And now they're talking about Department of Transportation might be forced to shut down some airspace next week. Let's get into it.
Transportation Secretary Duffy here is again warning this could get worse. What happens if they have to close airspace in some areas?
This is probably the most dire warning that we've heard from the Secretary of Transportation during this shutdown. If they don't have enough air traffic controllers, they won't risk it. They will reduce the number of planes in the air so that the controllers who are working are able to safely manage that airspace. But if you have more than the usual people, calling out sick, you may have to shut down airspace in portions of the country. Let's listen to what the Secretary said just a few moments ago.
If you bring us to a week from today, Democrats, you will see mass chaos, you will see mass flight delays, you'll see mass cancellations, and you may see us close certain parts of the airspace because we just cannot manage it because we don't have the air traffic controllers. And that was
And a similar situation happened in 2019 on day 34 and day 35, and that is what many believe ultimately ended the shutdown during the last round.
Sam, are there any tips to be gleaned here for travelers, or is it just show up early, check in often, and hope for the best?
Yeah, I mean, really, this is like, kind of Russian roulette here. You don't know where the controller is going to go out, which facilities they're going to call out from. There are air traffic control facilities in this country that control airspace across multiple states. So, for example, Denver Center is an air traffic control center in Denver, but it handles all of the air traffic above 18,000 feet in parts of Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, and Colorado. So if you get a couple of controllers who call out there, that impacts a lot of people in a lot of different states. So it really just depends on where these callouts happen to who's affected.
All right. So, this just goes to show that Trump is just making a myriad of problems. Okay, he's just making a myriad of problems. And we're going to talk about, speaking of air traffic control. We're going to talk about that UPS flight that crashed because there's supposedly people missing and at least 12 people dead. And it's just all so sad and egregious. We're going to talk about that momentarily. But a federal judge has come out and warned the Justice Department. Now, you all know Trump has these trumped up charges, pun intended, trumped up charges on James Comey. And so a federal judge has warned the Justice Department that it might just be veering close to mishandling evidence in the Comey case. So a federal judge on Wednesday warned the Justice Department it may be coming close to mishandling evidence in its criminal case against former FBI Director James Comey. He says, right now, we're in a bit of a feeling of indict first, investigate later. This is what Magistrate Judge William Fitzpatrick of the Eastern District of Virginia said in the hearing in Comey's case, which lasted under an hour. Now, it was an extraordinary remark in a case that has already faced both internal concern from other prosecutors as well as public accusations of the politicization of the Justice Department. Fitzpatrick focused the hearing around questions that he had for the prosecutors about how they had handled data collected under 4 search warrants in 2019 and 2020, which now could become part of the case against Comey. So the judge pressured Prosecutor Tyler Lemons for direct answers on what evidence the Justice Department had in its possession and whether anyone on the investigative side had looked at records that should be confidential because they are attorney-client communications. Now, the judge will ultimately determine whether the department properly handled evidence that it collected years ago in a leak investigation involving Comey and his friend and lawyer Daniel Richman. Comey has been charged with giving a false statement to Congress related to the leaked information, during that investigation, and he has pleaded not guilty. So Comey's defense attorney said in court on Wednesday, they believe, or their side believed, the former FBI director's constitutional rights may have been violated, but still don't know enough about the information federal investigators collected years ago because the federal investigators are not being transparent, not giving them the information. So the defense had requested that the judge give them the ability to review any information that the government collected as part of their leak probe to ensure that prosecutors can't rummage through old warrants for anything new that could incriminate Comey. Yeah, that's what they're going to try to do. That's exactly what they're going to try to do. Now, the Justice Department has until Thursday, that's today at 5 p.m., to provide Comey's team with all of the details it recovered while searching Richmond's electronic accounts in 2019 and 2020, as well as all grand jury documents and transcripts. They say the government has had this for 5.5 years. This is an unfair burden the government is placing on the defense, but I don't see another path forward, the judge said, referring to the enormity of the records the defense will have to review in a short amount of time. So both Comey and U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia, Lindsey Halligan, attended the hearing, but neither spoke to the judge. These are all trumped up charges, and quite frankly, I hope that Trump and Lindsey Halligan end up in prison. I hope she loses her license. She's not going to end up in prison. She could lose her license, though, and I hope she does. And Trump needs to be in jail. I just don't understand how somebody with 34 felony convictions never spent one day in jail. Isn't that crazy? Never spent one day in jail. Make it all make sense. So now let's talk about Governor Pritzker because he called Trump's minions bootlickers. And he went in on him, cursing and everything. Let's go to it.
Trump and his cronies can all the way off. Let's talk about what we're up against in 2025. President Trump and his bootlickers have torn down the U.S. Department of Education from the inside. Instead of helping to improve math and reading scores like you all are doing and supporting our educators, they're making it harder for students to get ahead. Books are being banned. History is being erased. Republicans want to take billions away from public schools and pump it into private institutions. They want to punish teachers for telling the truth. They want to criminalize educators for supporting LGBTQ students. They want to turn classrooms into cultural war battlegrounds. And I'm sorry to be vulgar, but Donald Trump and his cronies can all the way off. Donald Trump and his cronies can.
Is he mad or not? Did y'all hear that? Hey, Didi and Dallas, and I love you too, beloved. Okay, so y'all heard this. Listen, they are absolutely bootlickers, okay? They absolutely are. And here's the thing. All this stuff that Trump's been pushing, you know, it was working for a minute with a lot of his MAGA cult members. Okay, it was working, but now with the crashing of the economy, people not being able to, you know, sustain their normal lifestyles, people worried about food scarcity and things like that, not getting their benefits, worried about health care. These people are turning on him. Now, there are some people that are still just idiotic as ever. Okay, there are still some of them, but at the end of the day, a lot of his base are turning on him and the Republicans. Okay, and for good reason. I mean, you had one lady on TikTok crying, saying she was so sorry she voted for Trump, and now she's lost all her benefits and whatnot. We'll get to it in a second. But first, let's go to Marjorie Taylor Greene, because she's been out here on a whole revenge tour. Come to find out, I knew she was up to something. I told you all, this lady is not a nice person. Don't let her fool you. Now she's acting like she's trying to do the right thing and fight for the Jeffrey Epstein list to get out and all that stuff. She's just mad and ticked off, okay, because Trump told her no when she wanted to run for House Senate. Okay, AOC came out and exposed her.
From the state of Georgia, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. Congresswoman, thanks for being back with us here on the Hill.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate it. So is this the moment that maybe brings both sides to a deal? Like there have been a lot of these, right? Will the troops get paid? Federal workers missing their paychecks, SNAP benefits. We've heard them and we've rolled through them one by one. Now there's this. Is this the moment that gets to a deal or no?
I certainly hope so. I mean, I personally think the political drama has been a lot for people. And I think we saw that play out yesterday in the elections. I think leadership is something to take very seriously. And I think the Senate, both sides of the aisle, need to get on the ball on that, because people are suffering, people are not getting paid, and people have a lot of anxiety about what does this mean going forward.
Should Trump pick up the phone now and say, Speaker Johnson, Chuck Schumer, let's get in a room, let's do it, let's end it now?
I hope so. I would like to see that. But I've been saying all along, even a month ago, I said Democrats can open the government simply by voting yes on the CR that they have already voted to so many times. But also Senate Republicans can use the nuclear option, override the filibuster.
You think they should go there?
Yeah, I've been calling for it the entire time. I called for it a month ago. 1 month ago, I called for it. I posted it up. But it's been gridlock. And you want to know something? I really fully believe Americans are sick and tired of political drama in Washington. They care about being able to pay their bills. They're very worried about health insurance premiums rising, and it's up to leaders in Washington to take that very seriously.
So I want to get to that. Let's actually, I want to play a clip. You posted this on your social media feed a couple days ago about what happened to you in relation to health care. Let's roll it real quick.
Marjorie, get us some health care that's affordable.
We're trying.
Try harder.
What do you think about that?
Gosh, I don't think she knows how hard I'm trying.
Yeah, we're the only ones standing up for health care.
I agree with her.
You were just telling me that came out of the blue. President Trump last night, or this morning, excuse me, basically blamed in part the shutdown for Democrats' Democrats' wins last night, excuse me. Is it that, or do you believe that the president is simply not seeing what's happening out there with prices, with bills, and with healthcare affordability?
Well, I posted earlier that I believe the election yesterday was a referendum on not delivering what November 2024 was about. It was about America first. It was about MAGA, and it was about cost of living and putting Americans' issues above everything else. And that has not been the focus for months now. And I have been talking about it. I have been pressing these issues. These are the issues I hear about back home in my district, and those are the only people I work for. And I think yesterday, a lot of people stayed home because they're not happy.
The focus it's not been the focus for who? For President Trump, for the Republican Party, members of Congress, Senate, who?
Across the board, across the board. When we said no more foreign wars, we meant it, and that meant don't send our money and our weapons. That didn't mean go all over the world talking to all the foreign countries. When we said put America first, that means Congress needs to get on the ball and be serious about our appropriations. That's how money comes back to our district and helps our districts. When we talk about MAGA, we're very serious about don't force on COVID vaccines, don't force on chemicals. All of these things are extremely important to us, but we saw Pfizer be embraced in the White House. We've seen another mRNA COVID vaccine get approved. These are issues that really matter to people, and they're very angry about.
Okay. I want you all to pay attention. And here's the thing. She said that people didn't want to vote for Andrew Cuomo in the mayor's race because of him leaving those elderly people in those homes. Okay? But one thing that she said, when she said that the Democrats could go ahead and sign the CR, okay, when she said they could go ahead and sign the CR so they could reopen the government, well, there's a very good reason why they don't want to sign it, okay, at the end of the day. And she knows that, okay? She knows that. So let's talk about it. Because many of the Senate Democrats are insisting, in fact, that the CR includes a permanent extension of premium subsidies under the Affordable Care Act. Now, without that, they say basically healthcare costs will spike for many Americans. Okay, and this is why they don't want to sign it, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay, they want written safeguards that Congress mandated funding won't just be arbitrarily withheld or rescinded by the executive branch, like they're doing right now with the SNAP benefits, okay, and the contingency fund. So in their view, past promises have been broken, so they want more than just verbal assurance. All right, they want a written agreement. They point to broken trust, and according to a policy explainer from the Harvard Kennedy School, Democrats say Republicans previously promised to address certain disagreements in exchange for Democratic votes or on short-term funding. But then, of course, they didn't follow through, okay? They didn't follow through at all. And so the CR offered by the Republicans, which the House passed, okay, for FYI, is described by Democrats as a clean CR that does not include those healthcare subsidies or the other protections they want. And because of that, many Democrats refuse to vote for it. Now, the Senate requires 60 votes to advance most CRs due to the filibuster. Republicans only have 53 seats, so they need some Democratic votes to move it forward. But since the Democrats are largely unified in opposition until their demands are addressed, well, the CR keeps failing, and this is why. Okay, now some Democrats are facing pressure from their base, activists and progressive groups, to hold firm and not give an easy yes to a CR that leaves out major priorities. And I agree, they should not go for it, okay? They should not go for it. This is not going to be beneficial to anybody but the right. Okay, so when she's sitting here talking about they could end the shutdown, yeah, they could. Okay, they could by giving Trump exactly what he wants. And they've basically been placed, like I told you all yesterday, in a catch-22. Okay, and so anyway, and now let's go to Mike Johnson talking about Trump's going to be on the ballot in 2026. And here's why. Y'all got to hear this. Because they've already been plotting and planning in case the Dems try to impeach Trump.
Look at this.
I told him this morning what we've talked about many times and what I've said here before. The president is on the ballot in 2026. President Trump is on the ballot next fall. Because if we lose the majority, if the Republicans, the common sense people here who are doing the job for the American people, if we lose the majority in the House and this radical element of the Democrat Party were able to take over, we've already seen that movie. They will try to end the Trump administration. He won't have 4 years, he'll have only 2, because they will move to impeach him probably on the first day of the new Congress in January 2027, and they will try to systematically unwind all the important reforms that we've done for the American people.
Yes, we will. because that man has done enough damage to this country to justify being shown the door 10 times over. You are right, Mike, about one thing. Trump is on the ballot next year, but so is democracy. So is decency. So is the soul of this country. You say it like it's a warning, but to us, it's a promise. Because if he wasn't doing anything impeachable, if he wasn't breaking the law, bending the rules, or spitting in the face of the Constitution, impeachment wouldn't even be a talking point. But you're worried because you know he's done things that can't survive real scrutiny. This man has ignored court orders, defied the Constitution like it's optional, used ICE to terrorize families and deport people without due process, targeted judges, journalists, and anyone who dared to tell the truth about him. He's turned the presidency into a shield for corruption and cruelty. And while Americans struggle to pay rent, he's out here tearing down the people's house and building gold-plated ballrooms, pretending that's leadership. So no, this isn't some radical plan to unwind reforms. This is a movement to restore the rule of law, to bring back integrity, to remind this administration that America is not a monarchy, that no man, no matter how loud, no matter how rich, no matter how vengeful, is above accountability. They think this is a winning message, telling people to be afraid of democracy, afraid of oversight, and afraid of justice, but it's not. It's desperation when your whole campaign pitch is, please don't let them hold us accountable. You've already lost the moral high ground. You've already admitted that you know what's coming if you lose power. And let me make one thing clear. When we win in 2026, and we will, we're not walking in timid. We're walking in ready to investigate every abuse, every defiance, every unconstitutional act that's taken place under this regime. Ready to make sure that, yes, he only serves 2 years, because if we allow him 4, we may not have a country left afterwards. They want to scare people into silence, but that time is over. We're wide awake now. We see through the propaganda. We see through the chaos, and we're not backing down. So yeah, Mike Johnson, you are absolutely right. We're coming for accountability. We're coming for justice, and we're coming for every piece of this democracy that Trump tried to take from us. Because this time it's not about politics. It's about survival. And we're not letting this country fall without a fight.
Okay, well, y'all heard that, and no lies detected. No lies detected. At the end of the day, they need to get rid of Trump quick, fast, and in a hurry. He is destroying everything. Okay? He is destroying everything, turning allies to enemies and all of that. Trying to start a war with Nigeria. Is he crazy? Yeah, he is. He absolutely is. Okay? Why did I even ask?
To wait until every single ballot was counted.
So, win some, lost.
Yes, she did.
Abigail carried.
Because I know that God had called me for this purpose.
God has absolutely nothing to do with this. I think your loss can be attributed to a few things. Maybe that you have some very backwards policy. Maybe you are a person of color who is literally working with the oppressor to oppress more people. And you have pushed discriminatory practices. You also went on television and said that Barack Obama should have endorsed you because you're black. Sorry. All skin folk are not kinfolk, and let's be very clear, just because you are black does not mean you earn an endorsement from the only black president.
So we understand that victory to the Lord looks a lot different than what we think of as victory.
No, a loss is a loss.
Okay, that woman is just, she's so ridiculous to me. I am so thrilled that she lost. Okay, EC says, but the Democrats let the U.S. citizens down with their policies under Biden. FBA's us, don't let Democrats gain power again. Well, here's the thing, beloved. Somebody's going to be in power. It's going to be the Democrats or the Republicans. Which do you think is worse? Yes, the Democrats did let us down, but do you think that Biden's administration was worse than Trump's? Because I don't. I absolutely don't think that Biden's administration was worse than Trump's. Okay? I absolutely don't. People were able to keep their affordable health care. Okay? They were able to have their SNAP benefits. Okay? There was not a long-lasting government shutdown with all of this chaos and destruction. There was not ICE jumping out, with masks on, not announcing themselves, and all of this, attacking people, harassing people, racially profiling. None of this was going on. National Guards, troops being deployed to states. None of this was going on. Yes, perplex, both parties are trash. How many times have we said it? Both parties absolutely are trash at the end of the day, but the bottom line is, whether you like it or not, one of those parties is going to be in office. You don't have to vote for them. Okay, if you don't like it, you don't have to vote for them. Just like I didn't vote last election. Okay, I chose not to vote because I didn't care for Trump and I didn't care for Kamala. Okay, so that's what you sometimes have to do. But the bottom line is, somebody's going to be in office. Okay, somebody's going to be in office, and that's just what it is. And also, just to remind you all, y'all can get the thought of reparations ever coming to us out of your minds, because neither party's ever, repeat, ever going to give us reparations. And y'all should know that by now. Okay, y'all should really know that by now. All right? These people will not have free health care in this country. There is a 20% gap in Medicare, all because they didn't want Black people to be able to go to the hospital or go to the doctor's office for visits for free. They didn't want us to be able to be healthy, to go and get physicals, checkups, whatever you need. They didn't want us to be able to do any of that for free. Okay, so that's why we don't have free healthcare in this country. This is why we don't have free education, because they didn't want us to be able to go to colleges for free. So at the end of the day, if they don't want y'all doing that, do you really think they're going to give you reparations? Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I guarantee you that when you ask any politician that's currently in office, if you ask any politician, they're going to try to skirt around the question. That's what they're going to do. Okay? Mamdani did the same thing. Okay, so at the end of the day, D Major said reparations is more than cash, by the way, too. Well, yeah, it could be, but it's not going to be anything because y'all ain't getting it, period. Sad to say. I mean, it's not like we don't deserve it, but we're not going to get it. Okay, let's just walk into reality. So with that all being said, let's continue. And by the way, Nancy Pelosi plans to retire in 2027. Okay, if anybody cares, because I don't. Quite frankly, I'll be thrilled. She shouldn't have, none of them should get to be holding those seats for so long anyway. She's been a member of Congress for 39 years. 39 years. Okay? And then y'all wonder why nothing gets done, why things don't change, why both parties are nefarious? Because they let these people stand there too darn long. Okay? There's no way in hell she should have been in there 39 years. Period. But let's continue, because Mayor Johnson had to go in on somebody for calling the undocumented people illegal aliens.
Chicago checked that reporter for being racist. Watch this.
They don't have illegal aliens. I don't know if that's
well. That's the legal term. I'm not going with the political.
The legal term for my people were slaves. You want me to use that term too? So look, let's just get the language right. We're talking about undocumented individuals that are human beings. The last thing that I'm going to do is accept the type of racist, nasty language to describe human beings.
Brandon said, you better come correct, bitch. Ain't no motherfucking illegal aliens. They are undocumented, okay? Don't be trying to use that hateful rhetoric while you talking to me, because I ain't going to let that shit slide. See, you thought you had you one. You thought you had you one, but see, you fucked around and you found out.
Okay, so she's an immigrant too, I guess. Okay, so EC says, "Oh, Queen, you didn't say reparations will not be given." Yeah, I did, and they won't be. Now, y'all can believe it or leave it, but they're not going to give you reparations. Okay, that's just facts. They're not going to give it to you. I mean, listen, let's just be realistic here. Okay, stop, sleepwalking through life. The bottom line is they've given reparations to the Italians. They've given it to the Japanese. They've given it to the Jews, whose atrocity didn't even happen on American soil. They've given it to the natives. Okay, I'm sorry. So if they wanted to give you reparations, you'd have already had it. How do you all not get that? Okay, we had the atrocity in this country before any of these people that have already received reparations. Are y'all crazy? Crazy? We had our atrocity for 400 years in this country, and even after slavery, there were still atrocities, Jim Crow, lynchings, okay, numerous hate crimes still happening in 2025 that they call self-deletions. So before anybody in this country got reparations, we should have gotten it. No ifs, ands, or buts. But we didn't. And all of these other people have, and they got it decades ago. So what are y'all talking about? They don't even want to bring it up as a discussion. And every time they do, they say, oh, wait a minute. We have to have a commission to talk about it. And then nothing. Okay, so please get over it. We're not getting it. Stop fooling yourselves. Okay, stop fooling yourselves. Period. I know it's okay to have hope sometimes, but right now, hoping for reparations is just a far-fetched dream as far as I'm concerned. Okay? That's it and that's all. So anyway, let's continue. Now, meanwhile, you have this woman who claims that she voted for Trump sitting here crying and saying they took all of her benefits. Bless her little heart. But she didn't mind if they took everybody else's benefits because they took hers. Now she wants to cry and have buyer's remorse. I feel no sympathy for any of these people. I don't.
I gotta say, I'm sorry. I thought I was doing the right thing when I voted for him. I really did. And now they done cut every bit of my help off. No food stamps. I gotta say, I'm sorry. I thought I was doing the right thing when I voted for him. I really did. And now they done cut every bit of my help off. No food stamps.
Now, I have a question. Songwriter Sonny said, play it slow. DJ Big Six said, no F's given. Red Aries says, oh Lord, Trump regretters. AJ said, that's a face only your mother could love right there. Lillian said, OMG, why come to the internet with all this crying? I could never. Me either, honey. Okay, please. There is no way. There is no way that y'all would know that I was down that bad. Okay, please make it all make sense. I am so through. Nene said, bless her racist heart. But let me continue. So anyway, you all listen to this because this is very concerning. Now, but I have questions because this man says in this video that there's ICE imposters out here assaulting women. Now, mind you, I told you all a couple of weeks ago that I heard there was an ICE agent who assaulted a woman. Okay? A matter of fact, I think it may have been two women. But so they're saying that there's people pretending to be ICE. I have questions. Are these people pretending to be ICE or are these really ICE agents? Okay, I have questions. I don't trust these people. Anybody who's willing, I don't care if Trump told them to do it, anybody who's willing to jump out with mask on, not identify yourselves, snatch people up, okay, racially profile them, I don't trust you. Okay, that's what I don't do. So is it really somebody impersonating ICE or is it really ICE? Because they could be some darn criminals for all I know. Okay, but let's get into it. Like, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
The FBI just confirmed something horrifying. People are posing as ICE officers to kidnap and assault women. They're walking around pretending to be ICE using fake badges, fake uniforms, fake authority, and they're raping women under the threat of deportation. One man in Raleigh, North Carolina marched right into a woman's hotel room and said he was ICE, and he told her she'd be deported if she did not have a non-consensual encounter with him. In Florida, a woman with an ICE t-shirt grabbed her ex's wife and tried to abduct her. In New York, another man posing as ICE punched a woman, tried to rape her, and stole her phone. And the FBI is warning that this is just getting worse because real ICE agents keep showing up masked in unmarked cars and refusing to identify themselves. So now, no one knows who's real. You think that makes people feel safer? This has made it open season for predators. People don't even know if the badge pointed at them is real, or if it's someone using ICE's name to do whatever the hell they want. This is what happens when you create a system built on fear, when you make law enforcement synonymous with intimidation and violence. And the fact that this is even possible, that it's happening in America, should make every one of us absolutely sick.
And he's absolutely right. Okay, this is all crazy. So here's the thing. I looked it up. Now they say, no, the FBI has not stated that people are pretending to be ICE. Rather, the Department of Homeland Security said so. Okay, DHS and other sources have addressed incidents where individuals have falsely impersonated ICE agents. There have been reports and lawsuits highlighting cases of people pretending to be ICE officers, but these are not official FBI statements about the agency's own personnel. Now, they say there are documented cases of people impersonating ICE agents to commit crimes, a problem that has reportedly risen. Now, the Department of Homeland Security has debunked it, what it called fake news stories that misrepresent ICE officers' actions, but it has also addressed the issue of people impersonating them. Yeah, well, it could be them. Like I said, I don't trust any of them in Trump's administration. Anybody that's working in government right now, I don't trust you. Okay, period. Now, a court settlement in California has prohibited ICE officers from using deceptive tactics, such as misrepresenting their identity as part of their official operations. Honey, let me tell y'all something. I think this is ICE doing this. I think this is ICE doing this. One's in the chat if you think this is potentially ICE. Choose if not. Okay? Choose if not. Do y'all think this is ICE or do y'all think it's somebody pretending? D Major Scaler said it's ICE. I think it's them too. I absolutely think it's them. EC said, Queen, only someone will do that would be released, jailers or prisoners. Okay, I absolutely think it's them, beloveds. So we all think it's them. Okay, and here's what they say. Differentiate between impersonation and official tactics. They say it's important to distinguish between criminals impersonating ICE agents and the specific tactics that ICE agents may or may not use, as addressed in the court settlement. First of all, how are people supposed to know? If ICE is out here acting like thugs and criminals, which they are, okay, out here snatching, we've seen them in action. I've shown you the footage. Okay? Khalid Harleen said, ice, ice, baby. Okay? I think it's them. Danger said it could be both. And that's another thing. It could be. It absolutely could be. We just don't know. So anyway, whoever it is, I hope they get caught. Okay? Caught and arrested. Now, with that all being said, I have a few more videos to show you all. And it's something creepy I want to show you all too. We'll get to that in a minute. But let's go to this man telling us about white supremacy. He said he hates white supremacy, and he, quite frankly, is not here for any of it, honey. Please pay attention. I told him I'm not either.
Supremacy ain't never made no sense to me. Cause how are we supreme? If we stay out in the sun too long, we turn into Mr. Krabs, and majority of our women ain't got no lips. How is that superior? White supremacy ain't never made no sense to me. Cause how are we supreme?
Anywho, yeah, he said, how are they? Now, and here is And here's the thing. Listen, I want y'all to pay attention because I actually love it. There's white folk coming out calling out white folk, and then there's other white people coming out explaining certain things. Now listen to this as this white man explains about Black people and what we want. And he's not wrong. He's absolutely right. Okay, he's not lying, not one lie detected. And I want y'all to pay attention. I'm glad he's telling his people this. Of course, we already know, but I'm glad he's telling his people because, okay, clearly they're clueless.
People want to be left alone. They don't want revenge. They don't want to replace us, as some extremist groups have said. They just want to live life in peace, the way they want to live. They want family, they want love, and they want to live in a society where they know they belong here. They want society to also know that they belong here. They want to walk out their door and not worry that they're going to be treated unfairly, or they're going to get that look like they're not welcome, or that someone's going to try to touch their hair like a zoo animal. Yes, they want they want white people to fix white problems of prejudice and ignorance and all the ways that a wrongful sense of superiority is baked into our society. Yes, they want that to change. Yes, they want acknowledgement for harms done. They don't want us to just explain things away or justify or gloss over things without really listening. But more than anything, they want to be themselves, fully express who they are, love who they are, be with their family, and live in peace. That's it.
This guy gets it. Black people don't want to replace people. All we want you to do is to leave us alone. Let us progress in our own space. We don't want to have to worry about being shot when we come out of our house, when we drive in our car, when we're out in the street. We don't want to have to worry about the police seeing us in a group talking and we get excited and they take it that we're being aggressive. We want you guys to understand that that's how Black people express themselves. We talk with our hands and we talk with animation. That does not mean that we're angry or we want to fight. We want you guys to leave us alone. We want you guys to make laws that does not segregate, does not discriminate against us. Because no matter how you look at it, every law that's pretty much on the book, some kind of barrier to our advancement.
He's absolutely true. Absolutely right. And like he said, despite all of this, all the things they have done over the years, we have continued to progress. Okay, I want y'all to marinate on that. Because Black people, if anything, if nothing, we're resilient. Okay? Look at all the low down nefarious things that have been done to us, but yet we still thrive. Okay? Y'all should be proud of that. Now, with that all being said, hold on, what is this right here? Oh yeah, I want you all to listen to this. This man says a teacher was bullying his niece because they were Black.
The teacher who thought it was okay to single out the only Black kid in his class, my niece, this message is for you. Step 1 is done. We told the principal he's aware of the whole story, and his lack of concern led to a very swift Step 2, a simple Google search, where we learned that you guys are under an active lawsuit right now for racism. A lawsuit that entails a Black cheerleader being walked around like a dog on a leash. That cycle of racism, that cycle of whatever's happening over there is going to end, and it's going to end at my hands. You see, your reach is 34 students, and mine is a lot more. You'll see. We may share the same skin color, but our beliefs are very different. I serve my country honorably, alongside all different colors, races, and religions. I continue to serve. I serve my community, the Bronx, where you made it your point to single out my niece from being from there. You try to embarrass my niece and make her the center of your lesson. Today, you're the center of mine. But we're different. I'm willing to lay my life down for your family. Imagine what I'm willing to do for my own. To the teacher.
Okay, y'all heard that, honey. I wish I knew the whole story. Okay. I wish I knew the whole story. So D Major said this is this is the time where the quality white folks are coming out of the woodwork, and I love it. Expose MAGA. Okay, I know that's right. And I think I'm gonna have one of the quality white folks on my show, okay, next week. So with that all being said, listen. Sarah said, I want to thank you, Queen, thank our queen for all her work. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Okay, I really appreciate you. That means a lot. All right, so with that all being said, I have one more video to show y'all, and this is crazy. This video is crazy. Now listen, this guy has about 12 dogs, okay? 12 German Shepherds. They're all black. And some crazy arse woman shows up to his property asking to see his dogs. He's like, how do you even know they're here? Okay. Danielle said, maybe you can find him and interview him, Queen. Oh, you talk about the guy who did that video? You know what? That's a good idea. I just might do that. Thank you. Okay, so anyway, let's get into this because I want y'all to see this crazy woman. She's a whole Karen and just being so persistent. I thought it was all nefarious. Here we go.
Sorry, what'd you just say?
I heard you have these beautiful black German Shepherds here, so I came down to say hi.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Is it okay if I come in just for a quick second?
Oh, no, we don't really allow visitors in.
I came a long way just to...
How do you even know they were here?
Somebody told me. This is where you...
How did you get here? How did you get here?
I walked from all the way down the road. Someone dropped me off.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. Okay.
Now, I thought she said she walked all the way from down the road, and then she said somebody dropped her off. She's clearly lying, but I want you all to pay attention to how anxious she is. How does she even know that man had all these dogs, and why is she there? And why didn't she just leave when he told her no?
Yeah, no, we don't really allow visitors. We just moved in, and these dogs, they're out here with me now. They're friendly, but we have some rescue dogs and even protection dogs and behind the other gate over there. So, we don't really have a open door policy.
I'm really great with dogs.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Kendrick said sinners. When I tell you, you took the words out of my mouth because I was literally about to tell you all that she reminds me of that white woman in Sinners that went out there talking to those people, got bit, and then came back in, and brought the devil in with her. That's who she's reminding me of. This is real creepy, though. Pay attention.
Is it okay if I meet them? You'll see. I'll show you.
No, if these guys, they're out, if they want to come say hi at the gate, it's okay. But we don't really have any visitors on the property.
I mean, this is like the only.
No, don't open the gate. Like I said, the dogs in the back, they are not as friendly as the ones that are out here. So please don't open the gate.
I'll show you. It's just gonna be a quick second.
No, not today. Maybe another time, but we're not allowing visitors. And I don't even know how he got here.
I told you I came down the road. Listen. Fuck you.
Can you just go off the gate?
I thought you were nice. I just wanted to say hi to your dog.
No, we are nice. We just don't allow visitors on the property.
Now, it says suspicious woman returns to the property at 3 a.m. and attempts to break in one of the buildings, not realizing there was someone inside. And this woman's crazy.
Hi, it's me again at 513. This whole time I have been trying to make sense of what you truly want. What is the real reason you are here and who are you? This is beyond creepy.
Do you all see her standing there in the black hood? What the hell does she want? Look at her standing there in the hood, not saying anything.
And scary, and I mean, people have been giving me all kinds of different advice and opinion on what I should do, and all want is to know, why are you actually here? Who are you and why are you here? Like, what do you actually want? You have to understand that this is scary, this is creepy, this does not make any sense. And you won't tell me. Hello, I'm talking to you. Hello?
I already told you why I'm here.
You told me why you're here. None of the things that you say make any sense. Again, I still don't understand how you even get here. It's not like you're a neighbor that just can walk here. This doesn't make any sense. And I don't know if you understand that. Like, hello?
Something told me that I'm the only one who can save your dog.
What does that even mean? Holy Jesus fucking mother Christ, just mother help me. What the fuck? Wait, who is this?
I just want to talk to you.
What the fuck? It's you again. What are you doing on my property? Listen, this is no longer a fucking joke. You have to understand, right? You understand, right? The police, I don't even understand how the police haven't got you out of here yet.
Will you stop shining the light on?
I'm not, let me see your face. Let me see your face. I'm filming this. Let me see your face. Hello?
Dan, I just want to talk to you.
No, there's no time to talk. You're on my. Do you know it's almost midnight? It's almost midnight. You're so freaking lucky that I have only 3 of my very friendly dogs here right now that do not freaking care about people. Are you even like? Are you freaking real right now? Hello?
I just want to talk to you.
What the fuck does that mean? You need to get out now. I'm calling the police again. And when they catch you. One thing that I haven't told you guys yet is that I'm right in the Appalachian Mountains, and I didn't even think anything of it at first, but ever since the creepy woman keeps showing up to my property, a lot of people have been pointing out and asking if I am in or near the Appalachian Mountains, which I don't know how people even suspected that, but it made me think about it. And yes, I'm right on, like in the middle of the Appalachian Mountains, so with no one around, and there has been a few creepy things, and now that I'm learning to pay attention to the signs and kind of follow the rules of nature and kind of getting acclimated to like being out here, I am understanding a little bit better like what I should be doing. Whoa, did you guys hear how everything just went completely quiet? Now, this happens every once in a while, and I still don't know what it means. Sorry, what did you say?
Okay, so that was real crazy, right? That was definitely crazy, in my opinion. What's really going on? And then he said after she left, there was even more crazy stuff going on, and he was really paranoid. One, oh, so nefarious. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what the hell she wanted. Why was she there? Why did she keep showing up? And even after he called the police, that was just so crazy to me. And here's the person right here. I'm going to go to his Instagram really quick. That was just strange. I don't know what that lady was up to. But that's him right there. He had a couple of more videos about her, maybe 2 more. But here's the thing. I want you all to pay attention because he said that he was asked. Michael says, Queen, it wasn't crazy. It was demonic. Okay, it clearly was. You're right about that. But here's the thing. He said that people, after he was posting these videos, people started asking him if basically Lady Space had Afro Latina. Is that what he is? Okay, he looked like he could be. But so they said that he said people were asking him if he lived near the Appalachian Mountains. And he said yes. And then he started figuring out or finding out the stuff that goes on or whatever. So y'all know there's weird stories about the Appalachian Mountains. Okay, they're full of strange stories like eerie folklore and unexplained happenings and things like that. All right, did you all know that? They have all sorts of phenomenon and sightings. I mean, these things have been said since the 1800s. Okay, and at one point, even the U.S. Geological Survey investigated them. They have theories about ghosts of native warriors, UFOs, swamp gas, or trapped plasma energy, all kind of crazy stuff. And then there was a thing about a half woman, half cat creature said to stalk the forest at night. Okay, a Cherokee legend of a woman cursed after spying on a sacred ceremony. People have reported seeing people with glowing eyes, unearthly screams, and large cat-like tracks, and all kinds of things. Okay, and then some people believe descendants of the last Renoke colony blended into remote Appalachian communities. Okay, and then so they talk about the Greenbrier ghost and all kinds of crazy stuff. So I don't know. I don't know, but it sounds sketchy. D Major said, Queen, there was a report of UFOs being spotted across the USA recently. I'm not surprised, beloved. I'm not surprised at all. Okay, I've been telling you all for years. Okay, I hadn't mentioned it recently, but I've been telling you all for years there's going to be a fake UFO, um, a UFO landing. Remember I told y'all that? Okay, it's going to be all fake. Don't forget about Project Bluebeam, where they're going to use the sky as a projector, as a screen, and then have this fake image of Jesus. Okay? Now that's what came out in the late 80s. Don't know if it's true or not, but that's what has been reported that they're supposed to do that. And the man who said that, who came out and exposed it, is now deceased. Died under very suspicious circumstances. Okay, for those of you who saw the video that I did, okay, a few years ago about the Project Bluebeam, then y'all already know this. Okay, so anyway, and also let me just tell you all this. For FYI, I had a dream. Now, remember, I've been telling you all to prepare for anything going on with the power grid or things like that or whatever. I had a dream that there was an outage because of the power grid going out. Okay, so I hope y'all are following the lifelines. All right. I hope y'all are following the lifelines because I absolutely had a dream about the power grid going out. Please pay attention. AJ Matthews said, Queen, you know damn well they're going to do anything they can not to talk about them Epstein files, UFOs, Jesus in the sky, whatever they can come up with. You know what, beloved? You're absolutely right. Okay. Trump is desperate, clearly. All right. Rose Gold said Project Bluebeam. Absolutely. Absolutely. Jeff ATL said Caesar Borgia. Okay. We'll know it's fake if he shows up. Okay. I want y'all to pay attention. If the image of Jesus that appears in the sky happens to look like the pictures that we see sold in the stores of who is really Caesar Borgia, then you'll know it's fake. Because according to the Bible, the real Jesus, okay, has skin like mine. All right, so all I'm saying has skin like mine. So if you see anything looking any different, well, then you're going to know that's fake. That is all a hologram. Okay, please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, D-Baby said Trump's going to be calling on Jesus. Honey, we need to be calling on Jesus, okay, to get rid of Trump, to rebuke him out of office and put him in a jail cell or prison cell where he clearly belongs. Okay, where he clearly belongs. And then think about this. What is the irony of it that Diddy had to request a pardon from Trump? Okay? When Trump's a whole convicted felon, 34 times convicted. And they talk about there's no such thing as white privilege. Why is Diddy sitting in a prison and Trump sitting in the Oval Office? Okay, when Trump's been accused of some of the same things Diddy's been accused of. All right? But we'll talk about that on another day. Until next time, beloveds, everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channel. Double check to make sure that you're still subscribed, especially if you have not been receiving notifications. All right. Until then, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time, peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got